Comes the little bit lengthy, looks hard topic, but trust me, it's really very easy topic, and it's one of the lengthy and the major topic for your end of year exam. So please make sure you watch the whole video very carefully and try to score full. So the topic is photosynthesis. So photo, we discussed it already. This is for light, and synthesis is a process in which the organisms make their food. So the organisms, they make their food in the presence of light. So this is called as photosynthesis. Okay, in the presence of light, the organisms make their own food. Now, which organisms we studied already? They are the plants, because this is photosynthesis. But if this is chemosynthesis, that is the bacteria. Describe the process of photosynthesis using a balanced chemical equation. Please, for God's sake, like as per the experience of the SBQs, you were unable to answer the balanced chemical equation. Now it's the question that's included in the end of year exam. It means that you have to learn, and it's not hard, and it says chemical. So please, chemical mean chemical. Don't write world unless you forget everything in the chemical one. Okay, so carbon dioxide plus water gives you glucose and oxygen. So you write CO2, CO2 plus H2O gives you C6H12O6 and O2. And the best and the easy way is that you put 6 with every one of these except glucose, because glucose, just focus that it has already 6. Okay, it has already 6, so you don't need to put 6 with this one, and you put the 6 with all others, and that's it. Use the equation photosynthesis to answer question 1 and 2. So 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O, I'm gonna fill it. That's the equation is complete. Which of the following is the substance that is missing in X? So this is water. They ask water, and they can ask H2O. Which of the following is the energy conversion during the process of photosynthesis? So what kind of energy? We said already, we know light energy is converted into chemical energy. So we convert the light energy into chemical. Okay, so this is the one. You describe using diagram different structures of the chloroplast. So we need to learn the chloroplast structure and relate them to their functions. So this is the diagram of the chloroplast. Remember, it has two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. Okay, and along with that we have these disc-like structures, these discs, and each of these discs is called thylakoid. And thylakoid is a place mainly that has chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, that's a pigment which absorb light. Pigment to absorb light. Many thylakoids, they pile up and they make granum, and then there's a liquid portion inside the chloroplast that's called as the stroma. And stroma is the place where Calvin cycle take place. Calvin cycle, or this is called as dark reaction, or this is also called as light independent reaction. Okay, so this is all takes place in the Calvin cycle. While in the thylakoid and the granum, there is light reaction that takes place over here, or light dependent reaction that takes place over here. Okay, so this is how you will go through it. Light independent reaction, it takes place in the thylakoid membrane, we just discussed. And what happens in the light dependent reaction? Sunlight is used to split the water molecules to produce ATP and NADPH along with oxygen. So there is oxygen also over here. Light independent reaction takes place in the stroma. This is also called as the Calvin cycle or dark reaction. It uses the products from here, these two products, not oxygen. Okay, ATP and NADPH are used to convert CO2 into glucose. Okay, so as per the equation, the water is used in the light dependent reaction and oxygen is produced, while the CO2 is used in the light independent reaction and glucose is produced over here. Now, use the diagram to answer the questions 3 to 7, and this diagram shows chloroplast. So I will go ahead with the labeling first and then I will be able to answer. Number 1, outer membrane. The numbers can be different in the exam if the diagram comes and it's the same diagram. Number 1 is outer membrane. Now I need to see where is inner membrane. Number 4, inner membrane. The disc-like structure, one single disc-like structure, this is over here, number 6, that is thylakoid, and the pile of the discs is called as granum, that's over here. And number 2 is a bridge that is connecting the thylakoids together. 8 is the liquid, that is stroma. 7 is a circle, that is a starch granule, and 5 is a thread-like structure that looks like a DNA. Okay, so this is the labeling. We will move now to answer the questions. Which number in the diagram represents granum? I know that this is 3. So this is the benefit of the labeling. Now I don't need to go back and do it again. Now I know all the labelings. I can answer. Which number represents the location of the light reaction? Since we know that it takes place in the thylakoid, so we will see what's thylakoid. It's 6. So 6 is the answer. Which number represents the part that contains the enzyme responsible for production of ATP? So ATP is produced in light reaction, right? We know it is produced in the light reaction. So once again, if it is light reaction, it means it is thylakoid. So the answer for question number 5 is again, that's what we will say. So we did 3 thylakoid, yeah, contain the enzyme responsible for production of this. It is again 6. Sorry, I made a mistake up. I was just double checking that. It's light independent. I misread it. So you please see, the mistakes can be done by anyone. So this is independent. Okay, independent. Independent mean it's a dark reaction or Calvin cycle. So Calvin cycle takes place in where? In the stroma. And where is the stroma? Which number? It's 8. Okay, so the answer for this question is 8. Which number represents the part that contains chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is present in the thylakoid and of course in the granum. So you can say any one of these, whatever is given. So I will see granum is 3 and thylakoid is 6. So 3 and 6. Both of them are not given, only 3 is given. So I will circle 3. Which number represents the inner membrane of the chloroplast? So it is 4. So number 4 is the inner membrane. Relate the role of the pigments to the light absorption and photosynthetic organisms like types of and absorption graph. Pigment, and the major pigment we studied, it is chlorophyll. It is present in thylakoid and its role is to absorb light, and it's present in the thylakoid. Light absorbing colored molecules, they are called as pigments. They are found in the thylakoid membranes. Pigments absorb some specific wavelength of light energy. The major light absorbing pigment in the plant's chloroplast is the chlorophyll. Different pigments broaden the range of light wavelengths that can be absorbed and used in different times of the day. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and carotenoids are the pigments. Chlorophyll A is a major pigment or the main pigment. Main mean major, and it absorbs mostly from blue to red. So please learn that it absorbs blue to red light. B and D carotenoids are called as accessory pigments, like they are the helping pigments. So they absorb additional to A. So it absorbs more blue light. absorb blue light and protect the chlorophyll from damage. Okay, carotenoids. This is the absorption spectrum: chlorophyll A, B, and carotenoids. This is how, this is white line actually, so you can't see over here. So this is how you read it. So the peak for this dotted line is in this area, and sorry, not the dotted line, it's a continuous line. So this is chlorophyll B that helps to absorb more in blue, and A peak is over here and A peak is over here, so it's blue and red as we studied up. And carotenoids are the one which help to absorb blue green light, right? So this is the one, this is the bluish green, right? So we can see blue green light is absorbed over here. How do pigments in the photosynthetic organisms support photosynthesis according to their light absorption properties? So we need to see like what do the pigments do. So pigments absorb specific wavelengths of light with high absorption in the blue and red region, yes, which enhance the photosynthesis. Yes, that's the correct one. Photosynthetic pigments reflect most light, allowing only small amount of light to be used for photosynthesis. No, photosynthesis pigments absorb all wavelengths of light equally. No, photosynthetic organisms are photosynthetic organisms primarily use green light for maximum. No, we said blue green, not only green. Okay. The graph below shows the absorptions of the two types of the chlorophyll molecules in the plants. Conclude one benefit to the plant. So we need to say what's the benefit. So when you have the chlorophyll, it enables them to absorb the red light and the blue light. Okay, so blue and red. Or what else you can say? Mainly plants, when they have two chlorophyll, they absorb more light and they help in the conversion of light energy into chemical energy. Please refer to the IPQ answers. Compare and contrast the light dependent and light independent reactions of photosynthesis based on component, location, main reactants, and main products. We did most of it above, but we will see again. Location: light dependent in the thylakoid, independent in the stroma. Reactant: ADP and NADP plus water, while ATP, NADPH, and CO2 is the product. Main products for this one are ATP and NADPH with oxygen. Oxygen will be lost as a waste product. So used one are the product of the light independent reaction are ADP, NADP, and glucose. Functions: they capture light energy and utilizes the light stored in ATP and NADPH to make glucose. Four students compared the light-dependent reaction with the light-independent phase of photosynthesis and their answers are shown below. Who gave the correct answer? Light-dependent phase occurs. I'm going to read only one side first. I will not read the second. Occurs in the stroma? No. Light-dependent occurs in the stroma? No. So see, this is easy for me. I'm reading only one side. Occurs in the thylakoid and produces oxygen? Yes. Occurs in the thylakoid and produces sugar? No. This is for the Calvin cycle, so it's written opposite. So 3 is the answer. That's it. I didn't read these. But I know that what I did on the one side can be done on the second. This table, you can fill it same from here. This is the one, or learn as it is from there. Complete the table below by writing stages of photosynthesis correctly matches the description. Either say light dependent or light independent. Okay, uses light energy, so it is light dependent. Please don't do like this is number 1 and this is number 2 and then you answer here 1 1 1 or 2 2 whatever. No, please, this is not accepted and you may lose marks. When the words are given, copy them down. Okay. Produces glucose, light independent. Takes place in thylakoid, light dependent. Takes place in the stroma, light independent. Produces ATP and NADPH, it's light dependent. Uses CO2 or carbon dioxide, it is light independent. Okay, moving next, explain the main events that occur during the light independent phase. And we know from here now it's Kelvin cycle, right? It is Kelvin cycle. So there are three phases that occur over here. This diagram looks into cut into three parts like this. This is phase 1, this is phase 2, this is phase 3. No need to learn all these things. Only main thing is that you should know CO2 is used, glucose is produced, so this is the reactant. Okay, this is the reactant, and this is the reactant, and this is the product, and this is the product. So I will change the color, let's say. Okay, so this is the product, this is the product, and this is the product. So blue shows products, while the red ones, they show reactants. And the three phases, as I told you, over here are the 1, 2, and 3. So this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. Number 1, carbon fixation. Number 2, reduction. Number 3, regeneration. And the explanations are written over here. You can simplify it. I will say it, so try to understand. Okay, carbon fixation is a process in which carbon dioxide is fixed into a 3 carbon compound. Okay, so this is carbon fixation. You can say the name 3-PGA. While when 3-PGA is reduced to glucose, this is called as reduction, but the remaining 5 molecules of the 3 carbon compounds of the G3P are converted into 3 molecules of 5 carbon compound RUBP. So this is regeneration. Which of the following is the primary role of the Kelvin cycle? So what does the Kelvin cycle do? Okay, so we have to see what's the primary role for the Kelvin cycle. It absorbs light energy to generate ATP. This is for the light reaction, light dependent reaction. This is what happens in light dependent. Fixes carbon dioxide to produce glucose. Yes. Makes NADPH. It is light dependent, and produces oxygen. All of these are light dependent. Which of the following is the number of the carbon molecules that are needed to make 1 molecule of glucose, of the carbon? So this glucose, we need to see like how many molecules you need. So it is 6 carbon. Glucose has 6 carbon. Carbon dioxide is formula is CO2, 1 carbon. So of course, to make 6 carbon, C6H12O6. So here you have 6 carbon, here you have 1 carbon. It's so easy to say it needs 6 CO2 molecules. The diagram shows you step 1, which is basically from here till here. Step 2 is till here, and the remaining is step 3. Okay, so basically it should step 2 be like this, Okay, identify the step that represents carbon fixation. Of course, this is step 1. Explain what happened in step 2. In step 2, the 3-bisphosphoglycerate is converted into a G3P molecule with the use of NADP, and that's it. So this is how you will say what's happening in this step 2, but you can learn it from the answer key of the IPQ. They predict how environmental factors affect the rate of photosynthesis. So it means that photosynthesis can increase or decrease, but there are different factors like carbon dioxide and light. So they are giving you 2, carbon dioxide and light, so you should be learning them. So temperature, normally as the temperature increase, as the carbon dioxide increase, as the light increase, the rate of photosynthesis increases, but up to certain level. After that, the rate of photosynthesis stops decreasing or staying constant. Okay, so please read them up. I will tell you what's happening in this graph. Look, This is the light effect on the rate of photosynthesis, carbon dioxide effect on the rate of photosynthesis, and temperature on the rate of photosynthesis. So you in all of them, what's easy to understand as the light or CO2 or temperature increases, the rate of photosynthesis increases, but up to certain level. Okay, after that what happens, either it stays constant like this one, or it decreases like this one, constant over here also. Okay, now what you learned from this graph, let's say for example this one, as the light is increasing, the rate of photosynthesis is increasing. So you can see there is an increase until here, and after that there is no increase. It means that the light is affecting from here till here, but after that it's not affecting. So it means that even if you are increasing the light, there is no effect on the rate of the photosynthesis. So it means that the light is affecting only until here, it's not affecting until. So after the light is not a limiting factor, so light has been no more limiting factor. Same goes for the CO2 and same goes for the temperature, and this peak is called as optimum value. Optimum value, it means optimum rate, and after that the rate decreases. Why this rate decreases? Because enzymes denature. Okay, so scientists tested the effect of the light on the rate of the photosynthesis by species of plants growing into different conditions. Different amount of the light is provided. The scientists used increasing light intensity to determine the rate of the photosynthesis in full sun, in partial sun, or in shade, and used these graphs to answer the questions. So here it is light intensity, it is increasing from 200 to 1200, but the plant is kept either in full sun, in partial sun, or in shade. Okay, write two conclusions that you can draw from this graph. What are the two conclusions that you can answer from this graph? It's so easy. Okay, so the conclusions that you can answer from here, it's as the light increases, as light increases, rate of photosynthesis increases. This is point number one, a general one. Point number two, in sun, the rate of photosynthesis is maximum. The 2 points are done, but we can write more. Photosynthesis is maximum. Where it is low, in shade, the rate of photosynthesis is lowest. Okay, something like this you can answer the question. Next one. Based on the data shown in the graph, identify the plants and the light intensity where the greatest flow of electrons. Of course, the greatest flow mean the fastest rate of photosynthesis, so it is in the sun. Okay, in full sun. That's it. You just say like this, or you can also say like when it is the greatest until here, so it's like in 1000 and above, it's the greatest exchange. Predict in what might happen to the line graph of the plant in the growing in the sun were treated with a chemical that blocks the electron flow. When there will be a block of the electron flow, so of course the graph will not go up, the graph will go down, or they will be shifted toward the lower side. So it's not blocked, it's full sun. So if you block it, so it will shift down, so it will not go up, it will go down like this. You can read the answer key for this question, please. Which point in the graph below indicate that the carbon dioxide is not the limiting factor of photosynthesis? So how you will do it, as I told you, look, as you increase the rate of photosynthesis, the rate of, sorry, as you increase the rate of the carbon dioxide, the rate of photosynthesis is increasing. So as long as it keep increasing, so it is increasing until here, or you can say until here. As you increase, it's going up, going up, going up, but after that there is no change. Even if you are increasing the rate of photosynthesis, there is no change. It means at this point the carbon dioxide is not a limiting factor. There are some other factors who are limiting it now, because carbon dioxide is already increasing. So how it can be a limiting factor? Who is a limiting factor? The one in the short supply. Okay, so anything that is in short supply to limit the reaction. So since the reaction is limited, we agree, but it is not limited because of the CO2. It is limited because of something else. So CO2 is not a limiting factor. And that's it. Thank you.